How are you, Ziggy?
I'm good. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. It's good to talk to you again.
Yeah, man. Good, man.
Well, I love what you've done with this Exodus record, and it had to be no small feat. I know there's a lot of weight that goes on an album like this.
Yeah.
Did you feel that weight? Was that something that was there any kind of hesitation before you went into this?
No, no hesitation. I mean, I felt a responsibility, but it wasn't a weight. It was just a great mission in a way. It's just something great for really do. And it's time. It's time for that. It's time to explore, a different perspective of Bob's music. It's been a long time. And it's not like what I said when I went in there. I was like, all right, I'm not trying to beat the original record. This is not a competition between that record and this record. I'm going to listen to it from a fresh point of view, as if I've never heard the original before, and just truthfully mix it and do what I feel.
And that's what you've called the restatement version, or as
Yeah.
the CD calls it, the movement continues. And
Right.
could you go ahead and explain further as you're kind of getting into what exactly that means for this album?
Well, for that album, it means, generally speaking, a different perspective. But specifically, there's certain instrumentation that is on it that was recorded but wasn't used on the original album.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was listening back to like a song like Natural Mystic, there was this piano that I don't know if it was low in the original or what, but it was really cool to me because it was kind of outside of what we'd think in terms of reggae ideas or reggae rhythms. So it was very interesting to me. I was like, wow, this is cool, and that's the kind of stuff I like.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear stuff like that, I'm gonna use it. So that's an example of that. And then there's Bob singing different lyrics and also different tones. Just even in Natural Mystic, to another example is that vocal is another take. It's not the original. It's not the vocal that's on the original Exodus. It's the vocal and the restatement is sung much more strongly, while the one on the original Exodus is sung more spiritually. But so those are the kind of things I look for and find that I think is cool, and I use on a bunch of the songs. And we recut that one from scratch, so that's
Wow.
from new musicians. Yeah.
The album that could have been. It's almost like that.
Yeah, well, the album that is now, what I'm saying? That's how I would have put it. The album that
Yeah.
is, Yeah.
Just I know when you're in the studio, I mean, you have all these choices, and you make your decisions, and that's what it turns out to be. So it's really interesting, in one sense that he could have. I mean, aside from some of the scratch stuff, I mean, but these alternate parts, I mean, he could have made those choices, and it's
Yeah, man, no, yeah, that's true. I mean, because in One Love, in One Love, there's no hiding place. He says, on my version, he says, from the kings of kings. Now, that is a much more radical lyric than the more safer lyric that was used on the original, in my mind.
right.
Right.
Yeah, I was listening, when I hit it, and there's that laugh right at the beginning of this record. It's one or two lines into the very first song. He hits this laugh, and I thought, because there's so many stories that goes along with this record of where he was in his life, and with the assassination attempt and going away to England and everything. And there's something about that laugh that I think that's either maniacal in a sense, like I'm going crazy, or look at me, I'm still standing. And it sort of just
Right.
sets up the whole record in that, it's
That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and stuff like that, I push up in my restatement. Like I make it louder. I say that, yeah, and we put some like a little bit more kind of, as you talk about maniacal kind of effects and stuff. So there's all these little intricacies that goes on in doing this.
And you know this album so intimately, as you probably know all of his albums. Like, I'd be curious if it was hard for you to be able to step back and hear it as, I would or any of us would, someone who wasn't so connected. Like, is that an issue for you?
Well, now that you say it, I know I thought about it before, but then, when ignorance is bliss, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So if I don't think about it, then it's not an issue. But now that you said it, hey, now I have an issue. So,
That's good.
no, man, I mean, no, man, we just do it, man, I say we just do it.
I've heard you are bringing this album into your own sets. What exactly does that mean for you?
Oh, that means we do some songs from Exodus, like back to back to back, which I don't usually do back to back to back Bob stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In my set, I do there's like connections between my song and his song that I use sparingly sometimes, but this time, I focus on Exodus and, give the people some back-to-back vibe,
Right. Forever in celebration. I guess it's it seems like it's what it is.
Yeah, to celebrate, yeah, man. Having fun, with it,
Yeah.
Celebration, yeah.
And while we're talking about you, I mean, where does that put you? I know it hasn't been so long since we last talked about your last record, but is something cooking there too?
Yeah, well, earlier this year I put out 2 free singles already earlier this year.
Okay.
What I've been working on in the studio, and I just said, all right, let's just put it out, Like I would write a song 1 week, and then the next week we'd put it out, quickly like that. So I've been doing that, but yeah, we always have some cooking. So next year the pot should be ready to eat,
I'll be ready for it too. So, Ziggy, it's great talking to you as always. Thanks again for giving this a new shine and another look at Exodus here. I've really been enjoying it.
Thank you, man. Love, brother.
All right, you take care.
All right, you too, man.
All right, bye.